Still a Lions fan. I am still a Lions fan. Let's talk about the game.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And then the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
So by rule, the game is over.
The Lions Hangover.
Well, the Lions lay a stinker in Baltimore today with a final score of 38-6. It was, quite embarrassing, quite humiliating. It was not a good day to be a Lions fan. It was not. Let's see, what can we talk about it? Editorial-wise, what can we talk about it? I didn't think Jared Goff looked especially sharp in the first half of the game. I don't think the Lions looked especially sharp the first half of the game. I felt the play call was kind of weak and generic. I think they needed to deviate from the game plan a little bit sooner than they did. I didn't like the rushing attempts early in the game when they were already down 14-0. It seemed like they were still playing it a little bit more conservatively. Defensively, the Lions couldn't do anything. Lamar Jackson had his way with the Lions. Not at all what we expected. I'm sure there's people out there that were thinking the Lions were going to lose today or that the Lions could lose today. I was one of those people. I thought there was a chance Lions could lose. I wanted them to win. I definitely thought they could have won. But they didn't even show up. It was a flat performance, especially in the first half of the game. But by the time they've got things going in the back half of the game, Jahmyr Gibbs got going. I feel like Amon-Ra saying Gibbs got stuff going in the second half of the game. I think he finally started moving the ball. He had that touchdown. Jameson Williams had a lot of drops today. I think early on the drops were because of Jared Goff. I know St. Brown had a few drops early in the game as well. I think Goff started off flat. Baltimore exposed a lot of what Goff can't do, which is throw a tight spiral. They took advantage of that. They had a lot of pressure on them. The Lions were not holding like Baltimore was holding, but yet they called Sewell on a couple penalties, which we will talk about as well. I do feel like there was significant holding from Baltimore the first half of the game, but you can't let that stop you. I don't feel the refs were biased in the least. I think the refs called a pretty even game. But for some reason, there were some blatant holding calls on the Lions in the first quarter at least, and even into the second, and I feel like it took a while for the refs to warm up to that. But until then, I think there was holding on both sides, but they really didn't start calling it until they started calling it on Sewell. So let me take a swig of water here. I got some dry mouth, and we will get into the stats of the game. Yum, yum, water. Okay, let's start off with the scoring. Man, I didn't even do the intros. I'm Brad. Where have I been? I'm Brad. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And, of course, follow me on all social medias. I was a little vocal today on Twitter. X, sorry. I need to start calling it X and not Twitter so much. But, I've been pretty quiet during the games, especially the home games because I'm there at the game. I was a little bit more vocal today. Not too much, just a couple. Do we still call them tweets? I don't know. I don't know if we still call them tweets or not. Or do we call them X's? Whatever. I'm not sure. Okay. Let's do this. Lamar Jackson starts the scoring off with 10:37 left in the first quarter with a 7-yard touchdown run. Of course, Justin Tucker is there for the extra point afterward. 7 minutes later, set at exactly the 3:11 mark of the first quarter, Nelson Aguilar receives a 12-yard pass from Lamar Jackson, making it 14-0, and that is, of course, the end of the first quarter. Mark Andrews then has an 11-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. That makes it 21-0. That was at 12:54 of the second quarter. Gus Edwards then runs it in from 2 yards with 7:45 left in the half. That makes it 28-0. The Lions had a little momentum there at the end of the half, but it just did not pan out. Baltimore ends up taking a knee, and we go into halftime. Now, coming out of halftime, Lions get the ball, but what happens? Nothing. So, Baltimore with the ball with 7:25 left. Mark Andrews gets his second touchdown of the game from an 8-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. And once again, Justin Tucker with the extra point. I feel like Baltimore came out with a message today after 6 field goals from Justin Tucker last week. I think they wanted to prove a point that they could still score touchdowns, and they did just that. 7:25 in the third quarter. The score is 35-0. Finally, Jahmyr Gibbs with a 21-yard touchdown run, and the 2-point conversion failed. That makes it 35-6 with 13:59 remaining in the game. The Lions were able to start passing the ball in the second half. They started running the ball a little bit better in the second half. But regardless, Justin Tucker seals the deal with 9:30 left with a 32-yard field goal, making it 38-6, and that is our final score. So let's check out the box score here. Jared Goff went 33 of 53. He missed 20 passes today, and I feel like some of them were legitimately his fault. He is waiting too long to get rid of the ball. He is missing some open receivers. If he just gets rid of the ball quicker, he needs to work through his progressions a bit faster. I think he was definitely feeling the pressure. He was definitely looking intimidated today. He definitely made horrible decisions. For those 33 completions, though, he did throw it for 284 yards. 1 interception. It was kind of a trash interception anyway, into the end zone. He was sacked 5 times. I feel like 3 of those were his fault. Again, not getting rid of the ball fast enough. So with the sack yardage, that takes the passing yards down to 253. Jahmyr Gibbs had a decent day. Most of that, again, was in the second half. He had 11 carries for 68 yards, plus his first ever career touchdown. What is this, week 6? Week 7. This is week 7. So congratulations, Jahmyr Gibbs. First touchdown. And it was a pretty good run, too. Craig Reynolds, of course, had 3 carries for 16 yards. I thought he did a decent job. Didn't get enough as much as Jahmyr did, but he still, ran the ball effectively for those 16 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, again, he started coming on in the second half. He finished the day with 13 receptions for 102 yards, his longest being 15. And, of course, there's Jahmyr Gibbs with 9 receptions. So Jahmyr, I think today from Jahmyr Gibbs is exactly what we should plan on seeing, about 20 catches combined through the passing game and through the running game. I think right around 20 is what we expect to see. Just throw David Montgomery back in there, and then we will have like the complete running back package. I don't think Montgomery would have made a difference today. Maybe he would have got a touchdown. Maybe things would have been closer, but I don't think Baltimore just did whatever they wanted with us. He would not have made a difference. Laporta finishes with 6 catches for 52 yards. Again, most of this is coming in the second half. The Lions had so many 3-and-outs in the first half. It's like they could not do anything. And again, some of it was the play calling. Some of it was Jared Goff's lack of urgency, lack of leadership on the field. He's just not a playmaker. That's and it's true. It's not meant to be an insult to Jared Goff or any Jared Goff fan. He's just not a playmaker. I'll give it to him. He's gotten better this season than he has in previous seasons. He's throwing the deep ball more accurately. However, there's still lots of balls today where they were just coming up short. They were coming off target. There was one throw to Jameson Williams where it looked like, they were trying to blame Jameson Williams for stopping short, but it's like, just freaking look at him. You're throwing it to the wrong spot. His inability to compromise on the go it's a weakness of his, and that's just how it is. And he's played great this season, but this is not a great game for him. That doesn't mean he sucks. He's still one of the top quarterbacks of the NFC. Today's just a bad day. It's not a bad year. So Let's get over that. And these are not the same old Lions. I don't want to hear any of that crap. The Lions are 5-2. They lost to a respectable team. Now they got destroyed. That's not what you want to see. And some of that is on the coaching, and some of that is directly on Jared Goff. I don't know how else to say it. Jamison Williams did not register a single catch. He had 6 targets. I don't think they were all drops. I think he had 3 drops, I think, on the day. Amon-Ra St. Brown was targeted 19 times. I think he had 6 drops in the first half, maybe 5. Jared Goff fumbled the ball twice. He was able to recover it once. And, of course, Hutchinson had that fumble recovery as well. And Penei Sewell had a recovery. And man, the camera work on Fox was horrible because I knew the play was still going on. And the camera work was on the Ravens players celebrating or something. And the whole time the play is still happening on the other side. Kirby Joseph, I thought, had a solid game. He had 10 total tackles. Tracy Walker also played really well. He had 7 tackles. If you want to call what today's defense was really well, I'm just calling out the bright spot performers. I don't know if you guys can hear my washing machine going right now. Pascal was out there. He had 4 tackles. Hutchinson had 4 tackles. Again, not a whole lot of pressure on anybody. Buggs, I thought, had a solid game. He was in the backfield a couple times. He did have a tackle for a loss, and Brian Branch also had a tackle for a loss. It's good to see Brian Branch out there, and I hope he is feeling much better. Mohamed Ibrahim went out with an injury after his kick return. And then Khalil Dorsey took over, and he also had a kick return. Khalif Raymond had 2 punt returns. I thought Khalif did all right. Khalif had a solid game today. 2 punt returns for 32 yards, so that's a 16-yard average. But he also had 2 catches for 20 yards, and they were the screen pass. And I thought he did really good. I would have liked to have seen him. It was working. I think that was in the first half too. His offense was working. He was contributing in the first half, and I just feel like they got away from that. One of the few things that's working for you, you got to keep going, man. That's just how I feel. Now, they did not give Riley Patterson a chance to kick a field goal. He was probably game planned out, and it looked really windy today. I have no problem with him not getting a chance today. Jack Fox did punt the ball 4 times for 184 yards with an average of 46 yards, and 2 of those was inside the 20. Man, me and my oldest boy, we were talking about it today, and I think I'm going to try to add some punters to our fantasy league next year. I think that's a brilliant idea. Today's attendance was just under 71,000. Exciting, isn't it? All right. So do you guys want to do Raven stats? Not really. But yeah, Lamar Jackson, 21 of 27, 357 yards and 3 touchdowns, 0 sacks. He had a quarterback rating today of 155.8. That is how much he dominated against us. They even brought in Tyler Huntley at the end of the game to just take it easy. He only had 1 pass attempt, though. The Lions give up 146 yards rushing, so that streak is over. Scoring 20 points a game, that streak is over. Gus Edwards, he had that huge 80-yard pass. Zay Flowers had 4 catches for 75 yards. And Mark Andrews with the big day, 4 catches of 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. Odell Beckham, he had that hit on, who was it? That was Kirby Joseph, and he's probably out with a concussion, or he's out with a concussion protocol. Hopefully he's okay. That definitely looked like it rocked his head. So, but overall, 5 total touchdowns on the day for the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, 9 carries for 36 yards with 1 touchdown. He didn't kill us, not with his legs, but he didn't have to. He lit us up in the air with his arm. So good for him. I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson, but that doesn't mean that he's not talented. I recognize his talents. Justin Tucker, only 1 field goal. I actually like Justin Tucker. I think he's a great dude and a great kicker. So, yeah, 32 yards. He had 8 points on the day with those extra points. The Lions need to regroup from this. They get an extra day off because their next game is on Monday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders. So let's take a look at them. Right now, I do not know if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play next week. As of right now, ESPN has them at an 81.1% prediction rate that they should win if Garoppolo plays. He is 100 for 147 yards in the air this year, or 100 for 147 pass attempts with 1,079 pass yards, 8 interceptions, 7 touchdowns. So what does that tell you? He's careless with the ball. This guy's going to throw picks. He's averaging more than 1 a game. Jared Goff, on the other hand, is 1 for. This is before today too. Today's stats are not included in. So when I'm telling you these, it has nothing to do with today's game. Jared Goff is 141 of 203 for 1,618 yards. So he's like 1860 now. 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Make that 4 interceptions on the year. Of course, Josh Jacobs is the leading rusher for Las Vegas. He's got 107 carries for 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the other side of it, David Montgomery is our leading rusher for 94 carries for 384 yards. So he's got 73 more yards than Josh Jacobs, and Montgomery has 6 touchdowns. So Josh Jacobs, we know he is a weapon. We know he can beat us, but if the Lions return to form as they should, they had their clunker of the year. Hopefully, this is their one clunker of the year. I'll take it. It was against a respectable team. If they return to form, I'm not afraid of Garoppolo. I'm not afraid of Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs scares me the most, but a running back still has not gotten 100 yards on us. Yeah. So, and of course, their leading receiver is Devontae Adams, 39 receptions for 471 yards, 3 touchdowns. And who's our response to that? A Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's got 38 receptions, so 1 less. He's got 455 yards, so he's, 16 yards less than Adams. And he also has 3 touchdowns. So I will be at the game. Are you going to be at the game? Tickets are as low as $197. This is, of course, all according to ESPN. Injury report. Malcolm Rodriguez has been questionable. Did he play today? I don't know if I saw him. Joseph is probably going to be questionable again, and who knows about this concussion protocol. If he passes it, I think he's good to go. If he doesn't, he's got to wait until he can pass it. So let's look at these team stats for the Lions and the Raiders. The Lions, again, this is all before this week. The Lions are averaging 393.8. The Raiders are only averaging 310. So it's not a powerful offense. We can stop them. We can dominate them. We should win. Yards allowed, the Lions are at 307. Of course, that's going to be a big boost after they put in these stats. The Raiders, though, they allow 327 yards. So they're not as good as us on defense either. And with Garoppolo being a turnover machine, I mean, things are trending our way. Like I said, the Lions are projected to win 81% to Las Vegas's 18.8%. The last 5 games, I think the Raiders, would they lose today? I think they lost today. Yeah. And the Raiders are 3-2. No, 2-3. That's what it is. Yeah. 2-3. Man, I'm all over it today. The Lions, of course, in their last 5 games are 4-1. So this is just a speed bump in the road. We're gonna be okay. I think that's it for me this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, I've been Brad. Don't forget, check me out on all social medias. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube. I appreciate the follows and the subscribes. Feel free to comment if you agree or disagree with anything I say. I always love the comments, and I try to respond to as many as I can. So thanks again, and I will see you guys probably Tuesday after the Lions game. It's going to be late by the time I get home from that Raiders game. Monday Night Football, Ford Field is going to be crazy. I cannot wait. The Las Vegas Raiders are 3-4. The Lions are 5-2. Let's do this. We got this. Peace out.